Yes.
All right. I'd like to thank everyone for attending this evening. I will be talking about Alibaba Cloud Security. This presentation aimed at the broad audience. So it's not very technical. So anybody in security function, as well as everyone in administrative or operations type using Alibaba Cloud will benefit. So let me start with milestone of Alibaba Group. So Alibaba Group was founded in 1999 by Jack Ma and his friends in a flat in Hangzhou. It's effectively selling B2B level e-commerce marketplace. Following that, we introduced Taobao and Tmall. These two are more oriented towards B2B, B2C, and C2C. Following that, come along Alipay, being able to pay things electronically is part of e-commerce purchase. So you can see all of our businesses we have created for together have almost been driven by the needs of our customers. How can they pay products easier and effectively? How can they pay for those products in society where cash is more common transactional method? How we translate that into e-commerce world, so that led us to our business grew at the digital level to the development of Alibaba Cloud, which was a private cloud initially. As we scaled out our businesses, it became more and more difficult to support that level of scale. So we developed the public cloud system to purely support the incredible scale we were experiencing on our own businesses and send that out as public cloud services for other customers to utilize in 2009. In the same year, we held Shopping Festival, Double 11, November 11th. Also known as Single Day. 11/11 is essentially a global scale shopping festival. We've been in Indonesia for 6 years now. We have thousands of customers, over 100 partners, and most importantly, we have had 100,000 trainings. So we have four value propositions in Indonesia. The first one is we are the second largest IS provider as Gartner IT Services report. The second one, we have over 100 products available in Indonesia. And we also have excellent track record. So we cover customers across industry, including financial, retail, e-commerce, media, public sector, internet, logistics, etc. We also have strong ecosystem and local support, responsive and professional local team, and over 100 ecosystem partners in Indonesia. So we are number top three in IS and PaaS. We are number one in compute, storage, network, and security. Number two in software infrastructure. Number three in digital business infrastructure and operational governance. And number four in resilience. We are leader in cloud database according to Gartner Magic Quadrant for cloud system for 2020, released in 2021. So Alibaba Cloud infrastructure today consists of 25 regions worldwide, 80 zones, and all backed by 2,800 city and nodes. So as an individual, small business, multinational enterprise from a single account, you can spin that up and utilize our services in any of your regions around the world. So I'm not going to be specific here. This is our product portfolio. I just want to give you a broad overview about our services. We have different pillars in what we provide, started from infrastructure and platform and software as a service. So we have wide variety of elastic compute services, innovation compute, storage, network, private cloud, from platform services, database, and big data, AI, and from software as a service, middleware, video and traffic, IoT, application service, and most importantly, security, such as security management, application security, data security, network security, server security, and business security. So a large portfolio when it comes to anything. in the area of DevOps, monitoring, logging. All of these services are actually services that we use ourselves internally in Alibaba Group. So we are really mature. We have a lot of experiences on scenario. We have very stringent compliance requirements, both local and global level. We want to make sure our customers are using our services, have the reassurance that we have been fully certified. As you can see in my slide, we have global certifications such as ISO 27001, ISO 22301, CISA Star, regional such as Germany for trusted cloud, industry certifications such as HIPAA as standard requirement in the US. We also have certification for MIPA, PCI DSS, and we also put focus on privacy protections. We are really committed to the protections of personal information, which is reflected in GDPR as a standard in Europe. So no matter where you are, you can be sure that you comply with local regulations. And we also have dedicated website called Alibaba Cloud Trusted Sample if you want to look it up for more details. So this is the regulation structure in financial sector. I'm not going to be specific here. Most of the banking, FSI, insurance industry governed by OJK, or also known as our Financial Services Authority. And for industry, e-money and e-payment are governed by Central Bank of Indonesia. And also, this is the blueprint for digital transformation. You are encouraged to migrate to cloud because cloud is mentioned to be one of the points for accelerating digital transformation. Okay, let's move on to Alibaba Cloud Security. So Alibaba Cloud Security is a step above on-premise solutions. Why is that? Cloud native security comes with self-adaptive elastic protection, data security by default, built-in segmentation and control, connected real-time intelligence, instant recovery, API-driven automation, unified identity management. So cloud has better security that driving cloud migrations. The reason number one, I think cloud offers better security compared to on-premise. As you can see in my slide, it's almost 60% better compared to on-premise. We have anti-DDoS as a layer 4 defense system designed to defend against resource bandwidth consuming type attacks from internet to business. Also, web application firewall as layer 7 security system that filter and monitor HTTP, HTTPS, and HTTP2 traffic between web application and the internet. And this is the Alibaba Cloud Protections model. I want to highlight that our DDoS and WAF are independent. So you are still, if you are still on-premise or if you are using multi-cloud, such as AWS or Google Cloud, our DDoS and WAF can still protect your layer 4 and 7. So DDoS stands for distributed denial of service. 80% of the victims' business continuity impacted under DDoS. They attack in large volume, and it has very low cost. $7 to $9 to bring down a server, 10 billion revenue generated by DDoS industry, 380,000 troops in DDoS industry. For an example, gaming enterprise under DDoS attack, and 90% online gaming services go down for 2-3 days. The attack can cause the victim a loss of over $1 million, which is a lot of money. So if your organizations or your company have websites, chances are you are under attack now. Over 10 billion times of attacks to web application occur in 1 year in all regions area. I'll give you another example. Alibaba Double 11 Shopping Festival Attack Festival. We have tons of 42 billion attack requests, 6.7 million scan requests from 181 countries. And we, Alibaba Cloud Security System, successfully protected surface against billion times of attack at Double 11 Festival. This is our framework of Alibaba Cloud Security. Started from identity security, we have identity as service, host bastion host as server remote, and RAM or resource access management and action trial as log audit, and also infrastructure security. We have I have talked about anti-DDoS and WAF, data security for key management system, and data encryption, data field, SSL as standard for HTTPS. For business security, we have risk management as fraud detections or decision engine, and we also have content moderation, real name authentication, and anti-bot for your application protection. Cloud Firewall is 360 protections, start from north-south defense, which is from internet to internal, and east to west, PPC, and ECS is isolation. IPS stands for Intrusion Prevention System. We have an enhanced IPS capability with threat intelligence and machine learning. What makes us special? Our threat intelligence synchronized with malicious IP address and domain, powered by Alibaba Cloud, provides accuracy interception, and our intelligent policy through machine learning technology provides intelligent control policy suggestion based on historical flow patterns. So we are very accurate, comprehensive, and easy to use. Our customer reference. So we have worked with Adira, Asia Financial, Aklaku, Dana, Bank Jago, Infantry, Credible, and so on. I'm not going to be fair here, just give you an example. For example, Astra Financial, they have used our solutions, and this is the topology. They use our WAF for their layer 7, and also Ali Cloud API Gateway for the security. For Dana as well, just a little bit. This is the topology. They use our anti-DDoS and WAF as well for their layer 7 and for protections. That is all for me. Thank you very much. Darling, back to you.
Thank you, Natalia, for the presentation.
Thank you.
And audiences, if you have any questions, please feel free to post it in the Q&A chat box so we can help to answer at the end of the session. And so we will be having the second presentation, and it's going to be presented by Siddhar Pandey. So he will be showing about on the topic of secure your business on the cloud with Alibaba Cloud Security Solutions. Over to you, Siddhar. I think you're still muted, Siddhar.
Yes, hi. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, can see. Thank you.
Okay. Yes. Okay, so we have now covered the basics of Alibaba Cloud, our presence in the Southeast Asian market, and also what is the the gamut of services that we have on cloud. Just to quickly, just to revise. Anything that you see on security or on public cloud, the first thing that you would like to know is what kind of presence would a public cloud provider have in the world, because that would really empower their, the high availability and the redundancy part of cloud, which is very important for security. And the high availability and redundancy comes from being present in multiple regions, having multiple availability zones, so you can take advantage of redundancy that comes in cloud. In Alibaba Cloud, currently we have 25 regions all across the world, 80 availability zones, and you can see on the map, we are heavily focused on the Southeast Asian market. We are present in Singapore, we are present in Malaysia, we're present in Indonesia, we're present in Philippines, and everywhere we have multiple availability zones, so you can take advantage of the redundancy on cloud on a particular region. When it comes to security, compliance is also an important part of it, and in many organizations, data compliance is a strong policy that they need to adhere to, and one of the aspects of the data compliance policy is that data should not leave the geographical boundary of that particular country. So, when we are talking about these emerging economies in Southeast Asia, having an availability zone in these countries is very important so that we can serve these customers. So, hence we have multiple availability zones in Indonesia, in Malaysia, in Singapore, in Philippines, so that we can cover these kind of data compliances requirements for our customers. But let's talk about why do we really need security? What is it? What is the reason that we are having this conversation today? Because honestly, security doesn't give you any money, right? Security does not add any profit to your business. You end up spending in security, but you don't get any return from that. But it's the other way around. Security does not give you any return in positive numbers, but it saves you from losing a lot of it. And that's pretty much sums it up. I want to highlight the Data Security and Risk Report in 2021. It is a report which is sponsored by IBM, comes out every year, which talks about the major security risks that the world faced the last year. What is the amount of money, effort that has been going on to tackle these kind of issues, and what is the amount of loss that the world has faced because of security issues. Last year, among the major data breaches, you can see on the screen, $4.2 million. This much amount, was among the major data breaches that we had. It is the highest increase in the total cost of breach in the recent few years that we have seen. And we have also seen that wherever there is security, AI, there is automation, there are these best practices that are put into place. There is 80% difference in cost that the organization had to face because of the security breach. Because of these security issues, there has been close to 40% loss in business share for some of the organizations. And the average time required to detect and fix a data security vulnerability has been 287 days, which is quite a lot of time to fix something which is eating away your business. Looking further into it, because of now everybody working in home, working from home is now very common across the industry, and that adds on to various security issues because in your organization you can control the devices, you can control the machinery, you can control the traffic that comes in and goes out, but when your data is being accessed by multiple locations because your employees are working from home, it kind of increases the vulnerability of the entire solution. And you can see still the most of the breaches, I would say one of the highest share of the breaches is initially caused by compromised credentials. So credentials not being strong enough, credentials being shared by someone, or credentials just being plain hacked. That is always the number one reason of such data security issues. Now let's talk about some major data breaches that we had in 2021. Let me just take you through it so that we are all on the same page, that there is no industry, there is no organization that is safe from such attacks today. You might think that, okay, my organization is a very niche kind of an organization. What is the possibility that I will be facing an attack? But as we see, there is pretty much no vertical, no industry which is completely unharmed from such issues. If you look on the slide, back in March last year, Microsoft faced one very big attack from a Chinese hacking group, where more than 30,000 organizations that were using their services were affected later on, and data was leaked. Something that happened with Facebook later on in the year is actually pretty common in everybody's memory. It was highlighted by the cybersecurity firm Symantec. Facebook's database was exposed, and it contained personal information for millions of people, including phone numbers, your Facebook ID, your name, birthday, even some email IDs. Millions of records were leaked. What has been done with that data, it is not clear yet, but it is out there in the market. These are some of the bigger organizations, but even smaller organizations, not well known, not global organizations. Example is Colonial Pipeline. It is a petroleum organization a small petroleum organization in US, and the attacker breached the company through a VPN account, which had a single compromised password, and they gained access to their entire network. And then they demanded ransomware from the organization, and the organization took a lot of time paying up. And in that entire period, there was fuel shortages in Southeast, Midwest, and Northeast region of the country. The fuel price rose up because of that, so it became quite a big issue in the US. Similarly, JBS is one of the organizations which discovered that there are some irregularities in the internal servers, and the attackers had hacked their servers as well and asked for money, and eventually they did have to pay up in order to get back their servers. And last but not the least, a very important, I'm pretty sure most of us would have heard about this, Apache Log4j vulnerability that was discovered just a couple of months back, and it became a very big talking point in the world of security. Usually, we see these white hat hackers who work with the organizations and try to discover vulnerabilities of the systems. And once the vulnerability has been identified, they work with the organization to fix it. But Log4j was discovered by an open source project. It is an open source project. So the vulnerability that was discovered was released as an open source finding. And while the organizations were working to fix it, there were many attackers who took advantage of the vulnerability and tried to hack onto various servers of organizations across the world. So it does not matter what industry we are in, what vertical we are in. We have seen huge attacks happen in the past, and because of cryptocurrency, now it is much easier for the bad actors to ask for ransom, because now the tracing of the money is very difficult. So now there have been increased amount of attacks that we have seen. We will be talking about the solutions that we have at Alibaba Cloud at various levels for security. But irrespective of any solution, there are some best practices that all of us need to follow, irrespective of which solution we are using, which will really help us in the long term. And I just wanted to highlight some of them. First of them, which is you need to encrypt and regularly back up your data. Data which is not encrypted, just lying, the personally identifiable information, if it is lying on databases, if it is lying on a bucket, just like that, it is easier for the hackers to have access it and then use it against you. So ensure that all your data is encrypted and you're regularly backing up your data. Very important to ensure multi-factor authentication, so that in case passwords have been hacked or passwords have been leaked, or even through brute force attack, passwords have been guessed, multi-factor authentication will still prevent the hacker logging into your system. So if you don't have multi-factor authentication through some authenticator app or through phone SMS, through WhatsApp or whatever, try to follow that. It is one of the very good best practices that should be followed. Keep all your software and systems up to date. All the security patches that are coming should always be there. There should be end user awareness. Everybody should understand the responsibility that they have with the data and how they need to ensure that security is ensured. And always implement a zero trust architecture, which means that a resource would have only that much access that is really required by them. Do not keep accesses open, do not keep ports open, do not give blanket access to resources. only give what is required, implement a zero trust architecture. So some of the basic best practices which would really help against data breaches. And once you have that in place, now we can talk about the solutions that Alibaba Cloud has that can help you over and above in securing your platform. So this is like an overview, the bird's eye view of security solutions that we have at Alibaba Cloud. And if we start right from the top, we talk about business security. So we have fraud detection, which works in understanding the frauds in core services such as user registrations or transactions or credit card transactions or audits for your fintech organization. It is a solution which is an amalgamation of big data plus machine learning plus AI, and it is given to our fintech organization customers. We also have content moderation. In case you have an app where your users upload photos and videos, organization, UGC apps like TikTok and all these UGC apps, our customers want to ensure that the users are not uploading just anything. There is content moderation that is required so that the content which is uploaded is not, it doesn't have a lot of violent material or pornographic material or any kind of objectionable content. So content moderation through deep learning technology automatically moderates the content and flags the content which is not correct. So we have content moderation. Then in data security, we have data encryption service, which encrypts your data. We have key management service for managing keys, SSL certificate, and we also have sensitive data discovery. So in case you have sensitive data in files, it automatically masks that data. This is a new service that is about to be launched. It's not there in the console yet, but we are looking forward to it. And then we have the basic infrastructure security. Your basic security center, which is you have platform on Alibaba Cloud or even on some other cloud platform, and you want to just understand as an overview how secure my platform is. So this is what Security Center does, and I will take you through these solutions one by one now. We have Bastion Host, we have Cloud Firewall, which is like a firewall on network level. We also have a firewall on web application level, which is WAF. And then we have anti-DDoS to protect you from DDoS attacks, which now, unfortunately, are far too common. Then we also have some identity and security solutions, like how do you manage user access, which person or which resource has how much access, how can you take it away, how can you add more granularity. We do that through resource access management. We have audit maintained for each and every action committed on the platform, which is done through Action Trail. And we also have some managed services from our team to support you if you have taken those services to increase your security. Now, let me take you through these solutions one by one quickly, and then you can see the scenarios that they really solve. If one of those scenarios cater to you, and then you can think about exploring that solution in near future. The first is Security Center. Security Center is like, it's a centralized security management system which dynamically identifies and analyzes security threats on your platform. It automatically keeps on checking your complete platform, all your assets for security issues, and then it generates alerts whenever there are threats. It automatically gives you a score for your platform, and it tells you how you can increase the security score of your platform by fixing some vulnerabilities, looking at these open ports, and so on and so forth. So if I go to my Alibaba Cloud Console, it gives me a score and it tells me your score is, let's say, 95. And how can I increase it from 95 to 96 or 97? These are the list of things that you need to do. So there are some open ports, you need to go and close that. There are some security patches that are not updated, you need to update that. So it gives me all of these lists. So it is a proactive security management system that automatically keeps on pushing you to increase security of your platform. And this can be used for Alibaba Cloud, even for third-party public cloud platforms, or even your on-premise setup. We can do that. Security Center provides multiple features like anti-ransomware, antivirus, web tamper-proofing, your security for your container images, and your compliance check, some configuration check. It is very common for administrators, security administrators, to check in their organization how many databases have whitelist, what kind of IPs are there, how many ports are open, how many people have access which they have not used in the last 30 days. So this is called configuration management. There are various configurations, and I want to check my organization against all of these configurations. Whenever there is a violation, I should be alerted, and then I can act against it. Security Center does all that for you. You can define the configuration that these are the 20 checks I want to run for all my assets in my organization, and let me know which of them has any kind of alert that I should be looking at. So Security Center does that for you. Second solution that we can look at is Bastion Host, which is also a very common and very popular security solution. What Bastion Host basically does is your users are accessing your web application, but your internal staff, your internal employees are accessing the actual servers where the code is, right? They're logging in there through SSH into the machines, and they're working on the code and working on or doing some O&M activities. Bastion Host helps you regulate that access to actual servers. It becomes one single layer of logging in before the control goes to the actual server, because you want to ensure that your actual code which is in the server is safe. Not everybody is able to access it, even internally, and even if someone is accessing, they have limited choices of things that they can do on the server. It should not happen that I'm a disgruntled employee, and on the last day of my employment, I just log into the system and I delete some files because I'm very angry or because of something. So Bastion Host, it sits between your servers and your users who log into those servers, and it does your authentication, authorization, and auditing for you. So Bastion Host basically, it is a system O&M and an audit platform which is provided by Alibaba Cloud. It identifies the user who performs specific O&M operation in the cloud. It manages their permissions, and it audits the entire O&M application. So you can also restrict some of the commands to be run on that particular server. So if I have a server A and I'm logging in through Bastion Host, if my admin has enabled that I should not be able to delete any file on that server, Bastion Host will not let me run that command. So Bastion Host really secures your underlying servers, and it also makes logging in very easy, so you don't have multiple SSH certificate files lying on systems which can be hacked. You don't have multiple SSH passwords which can be leaked. So it's a single unified portal for logging in where you can manage everything about your access. You can have a two-factor authentication on Bastion Host as well. As I said, you can automatically block some high-risk commands on the particular server, and you can also visualize the audit of event tracing, who logged into a particular server, what are the steps that they did. So in case there are some issues, you can also trace those issues back to that audit. So it also helps in troubleshooting also. Next is Cloud Firewall. Cloud Firewall, it secures a network from the outside intrusion. What it basically does is it is a cloud security solution that provides firewall as a service. It's a network firewall as a service. It implements centralized security isolation and traffic control for your cloud asset at the internet level, at the VPC level. So who is accessing my servers from the internet? You can dictate that, you can control that, you can whitelist or blacklist some sort of IPs, you can blacklist some countries from coming in and accessing your servers. You can also visualize and control the traffic which is moving inside your cloud. So my production machines should not get any traffic from my dev or my test machines. So you can control that also. You can control VPC to VPC traffic also. So basically, Cloud Firewall gives you the entire control to manage your traffic which is coming into your servers, either from internet or from inside your cloud platform. So it manages traffic coming from a different load balancer or a different EIP, or between different VPCs, or even your VPC and your own data center. So you have that. You can use something like a cloud firewall to access control on the internet. You can do that. The intranet firewall also, you can use it like that, and you can always use it for access control on your VPC firewall. This is a classic case of intrusion prevention. We want to ensure that anyone who is coming into our system is properly vetted for that their IP is correct, they are from the right region, they do not belong to a list of blacklist IPs, which is provided by Alibaba Cloud, because we keep note of all the attacks that are happening around the world, and we maintain a list of IPs. And if we see that this particular IP is from that list, we block that particular IP. So this is what Cloud Firewall does. It is a firewall at network level. Once at network level, you have secured your traffic. Now we also have a firewall at web application level. There is something called OWASP, which is a list of common web attacks maintained in a list. And you can see on the blue boxes, there are some of the attacks that I mentioned, something like a SQL injection or a scan attack or a web shell, or an HTTP flood attack. These are some common attacks which web applications see, and it is the attacks are engineered to bring down the web application. At a network level, you are not able to see these attacks because they do not perform at network level. They perform at the application layer, at the application level, and hence you need an application firewall to prevent these attacks, to prevent your system from these attacks. So web application firewall is basically a security service that protects your website and your app services. WAF automatically identifies malicious traffic, and it scrubs and filters the traffic and then forwards only the normal traffic to the server and blocks the dirty traffic or the malicious traffic. It is a very common software solution that is used for security today. It protects your web application against attacks. It mitigates your HTTP flood attacks, and it filters out malicious bot traffic. So there is a lot of bot attacks that are used in the industry today. So WAF already has an anti-bot built into it. So if there are bots that are coming to your application and spamming or trying to attack, WAF will be able to identify those bots and remove that traffic. It also supports transmission of back to origin traffic over HTTPS. So some of these best practices that should be implemented, if they are not implemented, automatically WAF takes over and enforces those best practices on your application. Then it also supports real-time analysis and reporting of logs for your application. So in case there are some attacks or there are some troubleshooting that is required, you can use your application logs to understand what is the issue and where is it coming from. You can use Alibaba Cloud WAF to prevent data leaks and avoid intrusion from malicious injections that may lead to database leaks from the website or issues like that. So this is also, along with Cloud Firewall, an intrusion prevention solution. We are trying to prevent bad actors from coming into our system and accessing our data. And of course, all the other things we have seen, unauthorized access. It protects you against web crawlers. It protects you against brute force attacks. It protects you against SQL injection, cross-site scripting attacks, or web shell attacks. So all of these web level attacks, WAF takes care of it, and it constantly monitors the traffic and ensures that only clean traffic comes to your application, and all of these malicious traffic is being blocked by WAF. Which all of it you can see on the monitoring screen. You on a daily basis, it gives you the report of that these are the attacks that you faced, these are the bad actors that we have blocked, and these are the kind of attacks that were coming to your site which were being blocked by WAF. Then finally we have anti-DDoS. Anti-DDoS is a very very popular solution today, because DDoS attack is very easy to create, very easy to generate a DDoS attack on a website. And what it does is users, legitimate users, are coming to your website to surf, or let's say to purchase something or to surf the website, a DDoS attack bad actor would basically generate a lot of fake traffic, and send it to the website. And because of that increased traffic, at the end, website owner would think that they are receiving a lot of traffic, but out of that traffic, it could be possible that 70% or 80% is just fake traffic. And eventually what happens, the servers get overwhelmed with the increased traffic, and the actual users are not able to access. So the server goes down because the traffic is way too much to handle, and the actual users are not able to access the system. So when, as an actual genuine users, I go to the website, I see that the servers are down. But at your end, you will see that you're receiving a lot of traffic. This is what a DDoS attack is. It basically means a denial of service. It overloads the server with bogus traffic and make sure that the server goes down because of these overwhelming traffic, and the actual users are not able to use your services. DDoS attacks are very, very common today because, as I said, they are very easy to create. They don't require a lot of technical know-how of how things work, how security work. It is very easy to generate a lot of bogus traffic and direct it towards a particular IP. Anti-DDoS, it basically scrubs all of the data. We have scrubbing centers all across the world. We have a scrubbing center in Indonesia as well. So the data is scrubbed by that scrubbing center, and it ensures that only the correct traffic, only the non-malicious traffic is being sent to the system, and the malicious traffic is being blocked by anti-DDoS. It is a very sophisticated solution. A lot of our customers have used it because DDoS attacks are so common, and these attacks go to GBPS to TBPS level. It starts from 20 GBPS, 50 GBPS. We have seen attacks in multiple TBPS also. And I'll probably take it through you what we faced during Double 11. I think we had like 50 TBPS DDoS attack being faced on that day. But Alibaba Cloud Security Solutions, the anti-DDoS, was able to deflect it. Finally, this is how all of it comes together and looks. So in this particular architecture diagram, you can see that you have in the Alibaba Cloud peripheral, you have Cloud Firewall, you have anti-DDoS, and you have WAF. These three combine and secures the application at every level. And then inside you have Security Center, you have Bastion Host. You also have penetration testing and managed security services, which as an add-on services that can be used. So there are all of these security services. They feature and they serve different scenario. You can see which scenario is really useful for you. And along with the best practices, you can implement these solutions and get the best out of the security. Let me quickly take you through this. I think we have already covered this. Natalia has spoken about our customers. Here you can see 5.6 Tbps was the peak inbound traffic we faced on Double 11 sale in 2020. But there was no issue at our side. The website kept working because Alibaba Cloud anti-DDoS was working and protecting the website. Some of the customer use cases, I won't go into that. And Natalia has already shown you some customers in Indonesia. These are customers all across the world. So we have in Dubai, in Malaysia, AirAsia is one of the customers. So how we can get started is, I think the right point to get started is to give you a little analysis of where you are right now in terms of security, and then how we can work with you and take you to an improved security stand using some of our solutions. So you can reach out to us. We have a partnership with LGMS, which is a penetration testing tool, which would basically analyze your entire setup and give you a score of where is it that you stand in terms of security today. And we look at the score, we analyze the entire score, we understand, okay, these are the points where we can focus on to increase security. And then we help you architect a more secure solution by addressing those points and combining them with our Alibaba Cloud solution products. So we can start with that. You can always reach out to us and we can then help you generate a scorecard for your solution, and then we can take it forward from there. So thanks a lot. I hope you are able to get some idea about the different solutions that we have on cloud, and hopefully I'll hear back from you very soon. Thanks a lot for your patience. Okay, darling, over to you.
Hi, thank you, Siddharth, for the presentation. It seems like we can go to the Q&A session right away. So I see there's one question from Anonymous. So is anti-DDoS Origin Edition free? If free, is it need to activate by user or automatically is going to be activated? Maybe you can.
So you need to activate it on the console. After that, it will automatically start providing protection to your ECS instances. You have up to 5 Gbps of anti-DDoS protection given by the free version. All you have to do is just go to your Alibaba Cloud anti-DDoS console and just activate the solution there.
Thank you, Siddharth, for the answer. I hope that actually helps answer the question. If you have any other questions, please feel free to. Okay. Thank you, Natalia and Siddharth, for becoming the speaker today and presenting about the topics today as well. And thank you, audiences, for joining our event as well. And I will see you in the next workshop events.